bitches! Beavis and Butthead, December 2019.
What errors did you make? No, I thought you were flipping brilliant.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you did a fantastic job.
Well,
your analogy of a fist appearing out of nothing, just that was just sheer poetry. I mean, I'd like to use that someday. I want to quote you on that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bob, you think that her appeal to a fist appearing out of nothing is poetry and fantastic? Oscar Wilde, eat your heart out, eh? Bob, are you snorting LSD-laced shrooms and chasing them with Grandpa's cough medicine again?
But
and this
I
is
just
my
want to make
field, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I think that everything I said is pretty much high school, if not undergraduate level understanding of the current level of science.
So a fist appearing out of nothing is high school and or undergraduate understanding of the current level of science? I think you're overshooting a skosh. This is without a doubt a 5-alarm, full tackle, paddy wagon, horse tranquilizer, straitjacket, rubber room, emergency lobotomy. For the both of you.
And you're discussing quantum physics with somebody who doesn't understand that a force has to act on a pencil for it to hit the ground.
How did it know to be food?
What? Wait, what did you, wait, huh? What? How does the pencil know to be food? Or were you referring to the force or the ground in this scenario? Because that would make all the difference in the world. I got this one. Let's try this. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? True or false? You two bozos better hope a mental health professional isn't listening in on this. I know that for a fact.
How did it know to be food?
What on earth? How did it know to be food for you too, Bob? You just went right along with the shroom-induced coma non sequitur, eh? So, we'll put it to you. Which one knew to be food, Bob? The pencil, force, or the ground? These clowns are insane, man.
Well, the easiest way to do that is the second law of thermodynamics. In order for something to go from small things to big things and organize, you have to put energy into it. Food's energy, that's all it is.
So in order for something to go from small things to big things and to organize, you have to put energy into it, eh? Firstly, you seem to be having some issues with singular versus plural. Something is singular, Bob. Something doesn't go from something to small things unless you chop that something up. Secondly, and speaking of chopped up, so we're going to pile up 150 bananas, TP style, douse the lot with gasoline and fire it on up, because we added energy to small things, as you instructed, Bob. According to you, Bob, we'll get an organized big thing out of that. What do you think we'll get, Bob? I bet it'll be more substantive than the horse shit between your ears. I know that for a fact. And finally, the bumbling, boneheaded belly laugher capper to this part of your delusional Dunning-Kruger fiasco. You said, food's energy. That's all it is. Besides energy, Mr. Bob, food carries vitamins and minerals, which are micronutrients, and water. We extract no energy from either. You'd fail junior high intro to biology.
Anyway, Bobby, I appreciate it because you know that my basic orientation to a lot of the people in here, there are people in here with real engineering and scientific degrees, which I don't have, but I do talk a lot. So
They're smarter than I am.
I always check with people that I feel know more than I do to make sure that I'm not screwing up, and I am open to being corrected
Well, you're smarter than I am on this.
by other
The only-
people.
Oh, really? So, Mrs. Observed Phenomena, shoe. Hypothesis, it's a shoe. And measuring the time in a cubic meter depends on how quick on the draw you are with a tape measure is smarter than you, Bob. You see, what we have here, including these two knuckle draggers, are hordes of delusional, clinical-level, Dunning-Kruger, mindless Wiki Discovery Channel parroting, pretender clown Muppets that best-case scenario should be picking up cans along the side of the road, supervised. But they're out here posturing and pontificating on topics that would make actual fifth-grade general science graduates blush. Listen, fellas, you two bozos, I'd suggest getting on your knees right now and start praying ceaselessly, giving thanks to the rocks, pond scum, whatever, for the autonomic nervous system. Because if you had to think to breathe, you'd be in big trouble! By the way, we're off. As usual, if you like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. How's it going out there, guys? Yep. Here we go. As far as you know. Let me get my act together. Where is it? Aha, gotcha. All right. Getting set up there. Just smoke them if you got them. We'll get to it. All righty then. It looks like we're set. I'm still going to screw this up. It looks. The screen just looks. I'm just getting this feeling like it's going to crash. Oh, boy. Okay. Now I got to start all over again. Jeez. Where are we at here? Let's get. We'll play the killer Bimbosoles at the end. Let me keep that. All right. That looks good. That's got to go over there. Let's do that right now. Pull that back up. You guys ought to be going through withdrawals. I don't think Nathan didn't have a show this morning. He didn't have a show yesterday. You guys are searching for it, aren't you? Oh, brother, that cat is right behind me now, friggin' whining. The rig his neck. All right. Little stinker. He knows when I'm on the phone or when I'm doing a show. Just knows it. It's like innate. All right. I think this is going to be the last one. I think I'm gonna make it the last one if it's not the last one. I'm about tired of looking at these numpty dipshits. You know what I'm saying? It just gets old. can't go back and check what you guys are talking about or anything, or if you're asking me anything, because I only got 2 screens, man. I need 3 screens, but it's impractical because I got a roll top desk. I can fit 2 screens, one pretty good size screen, one smaller screen, but there can't be a third. I'm stuck with. Now, I could possibly detach that chat, but it'd just be too much of a cluster. I got things, and it's all the same color. I got things going every which way, man. And I'm a man. I can only concentrate and do one thing right. As far as you know. All right, let me check the volume. Hopefully that won't. All right, there we go. And that won't do anything. There we go. Look at that. Looking good. All right, you ready? You got your therapist on speed dial? You're going to need it.
So we've kind of already touched on like the tactics that flat earthers use, but
stereotype fallacy. Remind me at the end, because I'll forget, if I don't give you the total scores of the number of logical fallacies used here. Another one. Guess which one that was.
Are there any like particular ones that you want to like, mention again, or like say this is what they're doing?
Another one. This is what they're doing. You get it?
Beware of when you see or
he's taking advice off of Bob. Like I said, one can only hope and pray that Planet Peckerwood actually uses these, right? I'm just hoping that, when he goes live next in the Flat Earther, one of the stiffs that he'll probably bring on, you know the usual routine, that he uses Bob's arguments. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Hear this, and here's how you can deal with it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing a lot of.
That's kind of what you're going to be doing a lot of? It's kind of that, or it is that? See, it's just stupid.
My channel, I'm going to be analyzing the things. So what you need.
He's going to be analyzing the things, folks. That's what Bob's going to be doing.
To do is you need to hear the arguments and the approaches and say, oh, Bob told me about that one.
That's what we're hoping for. That's right. Oh, Bob told me about that one. Let me see if I can't spring this on you. This piercing intellect. Right?
I know how to deal with that. So generally,
Bob couldn't deal with a soup sandwich. He couldn't deal with it. We all know it.
One of the things that they will do.
That's another stereotype fallacy. Good job. Thank you. Any more?
Is word salad.
So from the Oracle, one of the things the Globetards or the Flat Earthers will do is word salad. The Globetards never do that, right? They only go to 2-syllable word salad. Yeah, but we don't hear that. We don't hear that out of Globetards. No.
Like when Caleb the other day said, "Oh."
He's back on Caleb the other day. Like I said, Caleb probably ripped his ass up. He's mentioned him like 6 or 7 times already. I haven't watched it, but I'm just with warrant. He got his ass ripped up.
Well, don't you know that we see in hyperbolic geometry?
Oh, brother. What in the world?
Bruh. And you look at it, you just sit there and you pause for a second.
So you sit there and you pause for a second, as opposed to standing up and continuing to talk? Like I said, he's just pulling horse shit right out of his ass. Doesn't make sense.
And you say, hyperbolic geometry.
Well, at least you can pronounce that. Not like Cygnus Octaris, huh, Bob? Oh, Bob, that's what he does. He pauses for a second. He says, ah, interesting. That's what we get from Bob.
What?
That's it. That's all he's gonna do. That's your argument, Peckerwood. Best of luck. You can't make this stuff up, folks, man. This is a comedy routine. But the crazy thing is he's actually serious.
Why do you think it's hyperbolic geometry? You know,
There you go, Bob asking those piercing intellect questions.
and then, you take a moment.
And then you take a moment, but you paused earlier. Now you're going to take a moment?
They want to go to
That's a stereotype fallacy again. Ooh, you closed out that block. Thank you very much.
from subject to subject to subject.
Oh, Baltards never go from subject to subject to subject. No, never. Not in the 8 years that I've been on here, not once. Good Lord.
Bruh.
They want to.
He stuttered. Should I count that as 2 still or just 1? We'll just give him 1. We'll chalk up the stutter and just be a dumbass.
Dogpile you with things.
So word salad, and he's on this dog pile, right? That's what he considers it. His take on the events.
If you ever want to take a moment, listen to.
We're going to take another moment. Now we paused to take a minute, and now we're going to take a moment. Make up your mind.
Nathan Oakley.
Well, what? Hold on a second, folks. I didn't get that. Let's go. Let's pull a fiver.
If you ever want to take a moment, listen to Nathan Oakley.
Well, he said he didn't listen to Nathan Oakley. And then he said he did listen to him, and then he didn't listen to him. And then his voice irritates him, and he doesn't listen to him, and he did listen to him.
And have him talk about Walter Bisslin's affirming the consequence.
Affirming the what? Affirming the what?
What the hell did you just say?
Let's pull fiver.
A consequence.
Hey.
Talk about Walter Bisslin's affirming the consequence.
What? What the hell was that?
Do you speak any English?
Dude.
Consequence globe fallacy, Earth curve calculator, using imaginary refraction and space.
What? What the hell was that? Who says that? Has anyone heard that shit before? I have. We're going to have to turn that back, man. I didn't hear that in full. Let's pull a J.
Exist. Walter Bisslin's affirming the consequence globe fallacy, Earth curve calculator.
Look at he's shaking his head back from side to side, dude. This boy's insane.
Using imaginary refraction and space.
Who says that? That's not it. It's begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, Earth curve calculator. It's not just Walter Bisslin's either. What? Bruh.
What?
Space that can't exist.
Yep.
And space that can't exist.
And he throws that out. It's a practice script that they have.
He throws that out. That's a practice script that they have. Bob doesn't understand, and we pointed this out numerous times, and I've pointed out in the past that he has problems with singulars and plurals. So he made the script, but they throw it out? No. Nathan's the only one that ever says that. And to be a script, wouldn't all the people listening have to have that in front of them for it to actually be a script? Bob, you glue-sniffing fungus muncher? You're just a superficial moron.
And the purpose of that is to try and divert your attention to make you think about these other things.
What other things? Well, what you just said, well, he never said those things. I mean, you need to be institutionalized, dude. So the first one is, let's get it right, begging the question. So Walter Bisslin, Mick West, all the other Earth curve calculators are begging the question. Do you understand why they're begging the question, Bob? Well, they're assuming the very thing they're attempting to prove. Earth curve.
Stupid.
So what you do
Go ahead, shake your head there, Peckerhead. Yeah.
is you sit down and say, okay, we're
What you do, folks, is you sit down, right? First, you must have been standing up. What if you were sitting down already?
going to talk about Walter Bislin's then.
Walter Bislin's then. Not just Walter Bislin, Bob, the nutbag.
You take the very first thing that they say.
Oh, they say. It's only Nathan saying it. Like I said, singular and plural problem. So the first thing that Nathan says, it's begging the question.
Ignore the rest of it.
You don't know the rest of it. You just shown you didn't know the rest of it.
And only respond to the first thing they say.
All right, respond to begging the question then, Bob. What do you got? That's it.
And that's one way to keep.
That's one way, baby. That's one way you can do it. That's it. It's one hell of a rebuttal. Real really flabbergasted.
Keep them on task. And
Keep them on. That's another fan. Keep them on task. Like I said, them and he. Ooh, do you think Nathan's plural?
prevent them from derailing the
Did he use them twice? I just hit him with one.
conversation.
No, Baltards never try to derail the conversation. Never.
You know, you notice lots of times when you talk to flat earthers, they just try.
There we go again. Thanks, Bob. You just closed out another block. Let's do a fiver so we get the whole thought.
You know, you notice lots of times when you talk to flat earthers, they just try and dogpile you.
Dog, here we go, back to the dog pile. Is this the white paper technical language that you're using? From the tactical paper. Dog piling and word salad. Yeah, we heard that a number of times. Is that all you got?
With 12 different claims at once.
12? When did you hear anyone give 12 different claims at once? Flat earther or otherwise? It's stupid. It does. He's just
Stupid.
He's just making nonsensical horseshit up, off the cuff. Right? He's just butthurt because he's a moron and got his ass ripped out through his throat. It'd be in high hundreds of times. Easy.
Well, which one do you take? You take the first one and
Yeah, you told us you take the first one. Okay, so take the first one. It's begging the question fallacy. So take it.
ignore the rest.
Okay, we're waiting. Go ahead. That's it.
That would be my advice.
That's Bob's advice to Peckerhead. Just take the first one. Are you going to take the first one here or no? You're not going to give an example?
What?
the first thing that I would do going into one of these things. Now,
That's the first thing that he's going to do. Now, do you have another thing? All right.
other thing is, you can do content rebuttal if you know the subject.
Well, I guess you guys aren't going to be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. If you don't know the subject,
Like Bob and Peckerhead, what are you going to do? What's the tactic?
ask them why they think that way.
Oh, that's right. We already been over this one. Ask them why they think that way. Okay, we're not thinking it. It's begging the question. Fallacy. Are we still on the first one there, Bob Rooney? So why do you think that way? Well, because it's an earth curve calculator, and you're assuming the very thing you're attempting to prove. It has earth curve in it. That makes it a begging the question fallacy. Okay? The rebuttal to that is what? Or did you poorly transition from that one again?
Ask them why they think that the Gleason map.
What? What?
Bruh. What?
Where did the Gleason map come from? Anyone? I don't see. It's incoherent, garbled gibberish in that funhouse mirror caper-sized piece of horseshit he's got in between his ears. It just comes out with just nonsense. Just the first thought that comes to his mind. I've been out here for 8 years. Gleason's, minus the times that I just said Gleason right here, I think I mentioned Gleason and the Gleason map no more than twice. So why? I thought we were on the begging the question fallacy. You know, concentrate on the first thing that Nathan said before. You remember that one? You think?
Bruh. Is a true map.
Why is so he's going to just arbitrarily come on and ask somebody because he's not a subject matter expert on any damn thing. Why do you think that Gleason is a true map? Jesus.
You know, doesn't it have some problems in the southern hemisphere?
All maps have a problem in the southern hemisphere. You know why? Because they're measured flat and then projected on a globetard, Bob. You know, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure this shit out. Good. You stupid.
Stupid.
Look
at him. Scary nutbag people.
Doesn't the patent say that it's a globe?
Oh, because the patent said the Gleason map is a globe. What?
What?
According to Bob, the patent said the Gleason map's a globe. Shit.
A projection of a globe?
Oh, now a projection of a globe. Thanks, Bob. That's a cool stick save, dumbass.
You know,
why are you laughing, Peckerwood?
The Gleason's map is just a timetable. It's just...
Yeah, that's what I got a Gleason map on my arm, you know, to tell the time everywhere I go. There's the Gleason map. What time is it, honey? Hold on, we got to get the Gleason map out. Clown.
It's a time calculator. That's all it is.
Calculates time. How does it do that? Let's say it. Peckerwood. That's all you got?
So
there you go.
I've heard a lot of flat earthers say.
Oh, you've heard a lot of flat earthers. Okay, that wouldn't be a fallacy then. You're close.
Say something to the effect of
do they all say something the same? Let's hear it.
Pilots are trained on flat maps and
pilots are trained on flat maps. Okay.
And maps are flat. Why do you think
maps are flat?
That is.
Why do we think maps are flat? Well, because the earth is flat. And you kind of need it that way so you can navigate on them. You know, the elevation angle thingy.
I was like, because paper is flat.
What?
What?
So is the earth. Like, that's your argument.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard a flat earther say, because paper's flat, that's why maps are flat? Anyone? It's stupid. It's a straw man, but it's such a feeble one. He just conjured it. I have never heard that in my life. Where are these guys hanging out at? That's what I'd like to know. Because half the stuff they said, they're idiot straw mans, I've never heard. I've never even heard people say that they heard this. If you follow. So this is really scary.
And I just
Bruh.
Then they tend to say stuff that
say stuff. There's another stereotype.
It's just a flat out lie.
It's just a flat out lie.
And without knowing,
without knowing, sentence fragment. Wait a second. What? Let's rewind that. No, let's go back. Let's pull a J. I want to get that whole thought.
It's flat. So is the earth. Like, that's your argument. And then they tend to say stuff that's just a flat out lie. And without knowing,
that sentence fragment, he didn't finish. He said they lie without knowing. You dumbass cracker. To lie is a purposeful intent to deceive. You You can't do a lie without knowing it. You train wreck of a cunt friggin' crayon muncher.
Hell no.
What a dumbass. See, that's what I'm talking about. They talk out their ass, but they don't understand the words that are coming out of their incoherent blowholes, and they train wreck and torpedo themselves. There's a shining example right there, folks. Idiot.
But it's extremely esoteric knowledge. Like,
The hell is esoteric knowledge? What is extreme esoteric knowledge? What's that? The lie that they didn't know that they were telling you? Moron.
did you know that according to the 1986 NASA documents to show that the whatever the training module they had for the digital program assumes a flat non-rotating disk or whatever?
No, not or whatever. It says a flat non-rotating Earth. Get it right.
Yeah, well, you see, instead of letting them go through that, you say, yeah, I've read them.
You've read them. And?
What's your question about them?
Our question about them is said flat non-rotating Earth, and you're a sphere-tard. We got a problem there, Bob Rooney. Hey, Peckerhead, don't you understand? Yeah, you don't. You're just a fucking idiot. Just laughing like a moron.
But if you haven't read them...
That's Bob's argument. Have you read it? That's it.
What?
What a rebuttal, Bob.
Yeah. Or you can't
Yeah, Jesus.
go to Antarctica. Great. What section of the Antarctic Treaty is that? It's
What, you can't go to Antarctica. What section of the treaty is you can't go? Now he's on Antarctica for some reason. Just bouncing off the funhouse mirrors between his ears.
6 pages long. Here, I've got a copy of it right here.
You got a copy? Oh, that is so impressive, Bob. Really?
Yeah,
Tell me
really
which of the 14. Tell me which of the 14 sections.
Which of the 14 sections on page 675 we want to? Do you know what is the 6th paragraph under subheading 4? This is what we got here, folks.
Bruh.
Of the Antarctic Treaty says you can't go below the 60th parallel.
Who gives a shit? Who cares? I don't care about that Antarctic treaty. I know it's nonsense to me. It always ends in a nothing burger. That's all it ends. So flat earthers, Antarctica this and Antarctica that. Yeah, if you want to get a good synopsis of the Antarctic Treaty and what you need to do if you want to go there, is look on Taboo Conspiracies channel, and he goes through it step by step. It's quite the belly laugher, but like I said, for me it's a nothing burger. For other people, they may like it, but I guess I'll just leave it. I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk about that in this book I wrote that's coming out soon.
You wrote a book? This fucking Egypt wrote a book?
Hell no.
It's just a series of anti-scientific claims.
It's he wouldn't know what science was. If it landed on his face, spun around, giggled, then whistled Dixie. But he wrote a book on anti-science claims. What about? I thought we were talking about Antarctica. What are you on about?
And that one's in there. And
Antarctica's. He thinks the topic, the Antarctic Treaty, is scientific. What a bonehead.
I read through the treaty. I was like, the word ban doesn't appear anywhere in
Who gives a shit? And?
it. I think the word prohibit occurs twice, but only adjacent to
a moron?
Like within paragraphs talking about nuclear testing.
Who cares?
Yeah,
You know what the Antarctic Treaty is?
But what was the point of this discussion? I didn't get it. Anyone else? And what? How does that prove you're a sphere-tard, ball-tard? This is all pointless. This is all little Nancy grab-ass superficial nonsense. You're like a couple old biddies, like nonsensical biddies that doesn't have anything else to do? You're just bouncing off the walls from incoherent topic to incoherent topic.
Sorry?
You know why we have the Antarctic Treaty?
Oh, God, Bob's going to give a rendition on why we have it.
I thought the idea was it kind of was born out of the Silent Spring era, like
the Silent Spring. Why are you over talking him, boss? Shut the hell up. Silent Spring? What the hell is that?
New environmentalism, and people were just kind of sick of the Cold War and stuff like that. And so we thought,
Cold War? When did the Cold War start? The hell are you talking about, Cold War?
Let's just leave this place alone.
Happy with the Cold
War. What?
World War II had just ended. Now
Uh-oh. Look out, people. Get the therapist online.
after World War II, we sent a carrier task force down.
We sent a carrier task force? Who's we? Bob, do you think that you're part of the we? You numpty dipshit.
Down to Antarctica and put everybody on notice.
We put everyone on notice. Everyone, we're Americans. You're on notice. What about people in Zimbabwe? Are they part of the everyone? Did we go over there and say, Zimbabweans, you're on notice? This guy's delusional, man.
That if we wanted it, we were going to take it.
We want it as Americans. If we wanted it, we are going to take it. Where are we going to take it, Bob? It's Antarctica. We can't move it. It's just going to stay there. What the hell is this numpty on about, man?
And we were the only country in the world capable of doing that.
Ooh, Bob's waxing all. He's got that imbecilic American patriotism written all over his face. He looks like Archie Bunker, doesn't he? Yeah, guys know who Archie Bunker is? They're from the Rockhead generation. They got this steel patriotism with no coherency about it. Not everyone's like that, but you'll see it. I call them the Rockhead generation. They got this. It's really, really strange, man. It's pretty scary. Now, if somebody comes along that's delusional with it, like Bob, it's I tell you, you better get the friggin' hypodermic needles out and the what do they call those guns where you shoot the needles at them? You're gonna need it.
And to prove it, we did. We sent a 2 task force down.
We sent a 2 task force down
There under Bird.
What about under lilac bush or under penguin? Under bird?
So then they had the International Geophysical Year where
Who the fuck says that? Who the hell walks around and says the International Geophysical Year? What the?
Bruh.
What does that mean? Bob, man, he's scary.
everybody, exchanged scientists and sang Kumbaya around the campfires and wintered over in Antarctica.
What the hell was that? Wait a second. Let's pull it, Jay.
What?
Down there under Bird. So then they had the International Geophysical Year.
Who are they? Then they had the geophysical year. Now we got two task force. Again, plural issues with Bob. We got 2 task force under Penguin headed down to Antarctica. And now what's going to happen?
Here where everybody, exchanged scientists and
Where is everyone exchanging scientists? Where who, what, where, how, why, how is it, what? Huh?
What?
sang Kumbaya around the campfires.
We're singing Kumbaya around the camp. What the hell is he on?
And wintered over in Antarctica at each other's camps.
So somebody's wintering over. Everyone's wintering over in Antarctica, in each other's camps. What the fuck? What? Huh?
Bruh.
And then we kind of got to thinking, you know, we're going to have a war down here because this is.
Then we kind of got to thinking that, like, well, we're going to have a war down here. You know, we want this. We want these blocks of ice. Bob, he's just pulling this shit right out of his ass.
Strategic. It's mineral rich.
Strategic? How is it strategic? Bob must be on some kind of moron strategic plan of Americans.
We're going to have some issues, and if we don't do something about this, this is going to be the start of World War III.
What? The blocks of ice and the penguins. So who's saying this? I thought we could just take it, you know, as Americans.
So we all got together and said, look, none.
Who's all? Who all got together? Is it the ones that are wintering over in each other's camps in Antarctica? Why is everyone down there right now? And where are they at? Were they there before Bird got there with his 2 task force? We don't have any, nothing. It's incongruent. There's things missing here, Bob. Idiot.
None of us want to do this anymore.
None of us want to do what anymore? Who's speaking? And who's us? And what do we don't want to do anymore, Bob?
Let's just make it basically a scientific preserve.
What the hell does scientific preserve mean?
Bruh.
Well, doesn't make any sense, Bob.
We'll not militarize it. We will all use a cooperative.
Who's all, Bob? Are they saying this down there, wintering over in each other's camps?
We won't claim parts of it.
We won't claim parts? What?
Because if anybody's going to be claiming parts of it, we're going to do it.
If anybody's going to be claiming parts of this Antarctica as Americans, well, we're the ones that are going to do it. Okay? No funny business with you. We'll slap you around. Okay? Look how proud Bob is. Like I told you, it's insane. He's got this condition. It's post hoc, inane, slobber-knocking, American patriotic, vicarious delusions of grandeur from a fucking nutbag. There he is right there, guys. Just make shit up. It's real scary, right? I ran into these people in my lifetime. I just fart in their general direction and just scoot out with a purpose. That's it. Scary, dude.
You know, and we're
look at him all proud. Look at him.
Only ones that can.
We're the only ones that can because we're Americans. That's right. Americans, no tomfoolery. None of them funny business. You guys, you're going to get slapped around.
Yeah, at that time.
So why don't we all cooperate and play nice?
Why don't we all cooperate, whoever all is, and play nice? Look at Bob. And play nice because we're Americans. If you don't play nice, we're going to have to knock you around a bit. Okay? You got that?
That's what the Antarctic Treaty came from.
That's where the Antarctic Treaty came from, according to Bob.
Hell no.
I'll tell you what, man. That post hoc shit, yeah, post hoc, inane, slobber knocking, friggin' American patriotic, that's an actual ICD-10 code. He suffered. Look at, it's scary. Very, very scary, knucklehead Bob.
It was signed in the early 50s then, or?
What?
Signed in 1960.
No, it was signed in 1959 and enforced in 1961. You glue-sniffing fungus muncher.
It was developed in 1959 and originally signed in 1960.
No, it was originally signed in 1959 by 12 nations. Idiot.
Okay, so my timeline about Silent Spring and all that was way off. All right.
Silent Spring. Yeah, your timeline was way off.
Good.
Good.
No, it's not all that bad.
It's according to Bob, it's not all that bad. No. You could have brought up the Blitzkrieg, and it wouldn't have been all that bad to Bob.
But
look, he's going to start waxing American again on us. No funny business from you over there. Slap you around a bit.
Yeah. But basically, it was designed primarily to keep us from fighting over Antarctica.
That's what it was designed for. Thanks, Bob.
You know, we figured we've screwed up the rest of the earth.
We've screwed up. Who's we've? Bob, are you part of the weave?
Let's not do it there.
Yeah, let's not do it there. We friggin' nuked every other place. Let's keep this block of ice and the penguins pristine. Idiot.
You know, come on, guys. You know,
Come on, guys. Come on now. Can't be doing that. No funny business, or we'll have to slap you around a bit.
and that was the initial. That's kind of the way that we approach space.
That's oh God, now he's going to space. That's kind of the way we approach length, width, and height, or is that how we approach it?
As well, we didn't claim the moon.
What?
You know, we don't claim space.
We don't, as Americans, we're going to slap you around a bit if you pull any funny business. As Americans, we don't claim length, width, and height.
We cut off national airspace at the Kármán line.
The United States doesn't recognize the Kármán line, you fucking idiot.
Bruh.
What a clown, man.
100 kilometers so that we don't have to shoot down each other's satellites.
Well, we just have to wait for the balloons to pop, and then we shoot them down.
You know, there's a lot involved in all of this that a lot of people don't.
There's a lot involved in this with a lot of people. Thanks, Bob. That's right. Is this the technical white paper language? From American Strategic Command?
What?
Bruh.
Don't think about.
Yeah, you don't think about anything, Bob, obviously.
You know, you fly an airplane over somebody, it gets shot down.
When you fly, according to Bob, when you fly an airplane over somebody, it gets shot down. That happens to me all the time. Every time I look and see airplanes, they're getting shot down, Bob.
Fly a satellite over them, well, technically we should shoot it down.
Well, no, we just wait for the balloon to pop. Bob?
But let's have a convenient excuse not to.
What the hell is he on about now?
You know? Because we shoot down, satellites on a regular basis. People.
Yeah, we do. Well, we wait for the balloons to pop and then everyone to see them. Then we shoot them down.
We're going to get mad. Plus, by having the satellites up there, that means that we can have our satellites over their country.
We can have our satellites over their country. I told you he's out of his mind. He's American. None of that funny business. Tell you that, everyone. We're going to have to slap you around a bit.
And not get them shot down. We have more satellites than they do.
We have more satellites than they do as Americans. He frigging scary. Guess what it is? It's called the post-hoc-inane, slobber-knocking, American patriotic, vicarious delusion of grandeur nutbag. That's what he is. Yeah. And I told you, it's an official ICD-10 code. Look it up.
That's still a win-win for us.
It's always a win-win for us. Who's us? America.
Yeah.
He says, yeah.
I know so little about this, but there's an
just like Bob.
interesting question about, like, what do we call space law? Like,
What the hell? What did you say?
What?
What the... Wait, we're going to pull the fiber?
about, like, what do we call space law? Like,
what do we call space law? Damn it.
Bruh.
I don't know. Let's call them Narnia statutes. Oh, man, you can't make this shit up, man.
is space currently governed by the rules?
Is length, width, and height currently governed by some rules? Yeah, the Narnia statutes.
that we adopt for like international waters or what? And what should
Bob? Archie Bunker there? Yep. Yeah, like international waters. Tell him, Bob. Better not be any funny business by anyone out there. You're going to slap you around a bit.
do in the future? So I know there's interesting conversations that are happening around
Interesting conversations about length, width, and height.
that.
Well, when we can start getting resources out of space, asteroids,
We're going to get resources out of that. Asteroids. What else?
hydrogen-3 water.
Obviously, hydrogen-3 water. Where are we getting that from?
Moon.
Moon.
You know, it may get a little bit more interesting, but right now it's kind of viewed as high seas. And
High seas, so length, width, and height is treated as high seas, and then what else?
anybody's in trouble, you do everything you can to rescue them.
Yeah, anyone's in trouble out there, in length, width, and height, you do what you can, to help them out there. Unless you're eating a sandwich or something, then they're tits up, man. They're on their own.
You know, you wave at each other as you go by.
That's the white paper technical strategic language from America. What do you do? You do the Queen's wave. When you go by each other, you Queen wave them. And sometimes they get pissed, man. You don't see them, and you're waving. They don't wave. You have to shoot them down.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's what I told you. It was the white paper technical language.
You know, we try and advise them of when we're doing things.
We try to advise them when we're doing things. Sometimes we can't advise them, so we just do them anyway.
Try and advise us when they're doing things.
And whoever they are, they try to advise us, but sometimes they try, they can't get through, so they do the shit anyway.
You know, it works for the most part.
For the most part, but it doesn't work when the other one doesn't reciprocate the wave. Then shit's gonna start getting dicey. Because we can't have any of that shit. Have to slap around a bit, right, Bob?
Yeah.
You know, when we watched Apollo 11, there were Russian spy ships off the shore.
Oh, God, he's going to wax something delusional again.
Bruh.
Let's get the whole thought.
Yeah.
You know, when we watched Apollo 11, there were Russian spy ships off of Florida.
When we launched Apollo 11, all of a sudden we had ships, Russian spy ships, off the coast of Florida. What do they do, surfing?
And basically, they went out there and
They just went out there. Basically, they just went out there. Who's they? Was that Americans? Don't be doing any funny business out here, Soviets. I'm gonna slap you around a bit, all right? We're Americans.
you know, they were really worried that the Russians would interfere with the communications. And basically, they went out there and said, look, here are the frequencies we're using. Don't screw with us.
Told you he's fucking out of his mind. Can we get some backup for this? Right? Can we get at least some video? Right? Americans going out on their ships. They see the Russians out there. They're just hanging out. They're probably in the Bermuda Triangle, waiting for the rocket to come down. And they're out there, and Americans come out there, and we say, hey, listen, you Ruskies. There's the frequencies. We're even giving you the opportunity. Just try and mess with us. There'll be trouble. We're going to slap you around a bit. Okay? Don't do it. Meanwhile, the Ruskies are all down in the friggin' galley snorting friggin' vodka and doing Alabama slammers, laughing at these idiots trying to get to Narnia. But Bob, he's a proud American.
You know?
You know? We went out there and we said, don't you even think about it. You Ruskies. Huh? You're not trouble or slap you around a bit.
And they didn't.
And of course they didn't, because they were too scared. Mainly because they were all drunk off their asses and laughing. You going to Narnia, Bob?
So,
well, we're currently
So look at Bob, all proud. Like I said, he's American.
Serving basically a proxy, or we're engaged in a proxy war with Russia while collaborating in space.
Yeah, that's kind of a friggin' no-brainer right there. What's going on? Looks like there's some funny business there. All kumbaya up in length, width, and height, but down here everyone's killing each other's grandmothers. What do you think about that, Bob?
With Russia every single day.
Yep.
That's
Yep. There's Bob. Yep. What's your answer? Should we continue to kill each other's grandmothers, Bob?
pretty fascinating how
Bob throws his hands up in the air. I guess that strategic plan wasn't part of the technical white papers. Huh? But you better not be doing any funny business. Okay?
two groups that are spending billions of dollars to oppose each other's interests are united in a common interest.
Yeah, isn't that funny? That's pretty good. That's pretty astute, right? That's the first astute thing you said. What about that, Bob? What are you going to do with that? You going to throw your hands up again?
In space.
He doesn't know what to do. Maybe we'll just wait. Why don't you bring up the Gleason's map? Fucking bonehead.
As Kennedy said,
He's just waxing. He's going off to Kennedy now. As proud American. As Kennedy said,
space is hostile to us all.
length, width, and height is hostile to us all. Yeah. Don't be doing any of that funny business.
Well, that's very true.
So length, width, and height is hostile to us all. All right.
And that was a rather profound statement.
Yeah, I'm profounded it right now, man. It's really, I can't get my arms around it.
That he made at Rice University.
Rice University, what was the mascot? Street, phone number, place. Fucking clown.
And that was part of his "We Will Go to the Moon" speech.
We will go to Narnia speech. Oh, boy.
Space is hostile to us all. We need.
Yeah, you already said that. Remember we were profounded?
What kind of shit is that?
We need to work together to explore and.
We need to work together to explore, but down on the ground we're killing each other's grandmothers. But we need to work together to explore and
expand into it.
And expand into length, width, and height.
What?
You know, it doesn't need to be a new theater of war.
It doesn't need to be a new theater of war, but if you start your funny business, yep, gonna have to slap you around a bit.
I have a question. I don't
know. Oh, brother. How long we've been going? We've been going an hour. Let's take a break. Let's see if anyone's listening out there. How about that? I haven't looked back here. Damn, I tell you what, man. We got some people out here listening to this shit. Damn. And let's see what we got. We got YouTube. We got super chats. Look at this. We got superposition, super tramp, Superman, super chat, super salad, supercomputer, superstition, superconductor, superfluid, superintendent. Roger Ledwell, I want to know what the radius of an odometer is. Yeah, good one. Yeah, you're going to have to go back to the other show. I think it was part 2. Am I putting parts on these things? You know what? I need to go back. I don't think I can do that. Lumpy Gas in a Vacuum. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for your help on my recent issue. Only to help. What was that? Well, you're welcome. And put a flag in Bob for America. Yeah. Too funny. Yeah. better not be doing any funny business out there, I tell you that, everyone. Yeah, where's everyone at, man? It's not that many people here. What the heck? What, do they got a job or something? All right. Well, it ain't going to change it. Maybe they'll catch up with it later. All right, we're going to take a break in place. We're going to enjoy a few moments of silence together. You know, the uncomfortable type that I think's comfortable. I'm still here. Just carry on. I'll be back. We'll continue here in a couple minutes. Let me stretch the old legs, man. I did some serious biking today, just stationary bike, because the wind's blowing like 85 mile an hour outside. Legs are a little tight. I'll be right back. That stationary bike is the bane of my existence, man. It's like torture. You know, you turn up the resistance to it. Oh boy. Wait, what the heck? Did I miss super chats? What super chats did I miss? What the what's going on here, man? I need some help. How did I miss those guys? What the piss? All right. Oh, it was already down at the bottom. I got you. Oh. All right. Here we go. Super chat, super position, super tramp, Superman, super salad, super computer, superstition, superconductor, superfluid, superintendent. Roger Ledwell, someone call Mind Stump. We need a count. You know what? Yeah, we don't. There's a lot of fallacies here. The main one is a stereotype fallacy. These guys, there's other ones too, but the main one, they just abuse that stereotype fallacy to death. Thanks, Roger. Billy Philly, let's all take a moment and pause. Yeah. Well, he took a moment to pause, and then he took a minute. Was it a minute? And then took something else. I can't remember, man. It was too long ago. Roger Ledwell, I want to know what the radius of an... No, we already did that one, so I only missed 2. Thanks, Kim. Appreciate that. Sorry about that, guys. I got you back. All right, let's see what we're going to do here. Probably continue. That's about all that's left to do here. All right, let me get my act together. We don't get any Skype calls. Oh, there he is. Get that. Let's get that. Looking 5 by 5. All right. Oh, it shouldn't go that. Sorry, guy. I'm just talking to myself. All right. Here we go.
I don't know if you know the answer to this. I suspect you probably do, though. I know that the way we measure our distance to the sun is to, well, the first way it was done was to, observe a transit of Venus from 2 different places on Earth.
What?
But I couldn't possibly explain to somebody
Don't worry, Bob can't either.
how you actually do that. Do you know how that measurement
If he doesn't, he's sure going to make some shit up. We have precedents.
is done?
Well, it was done. You know, there were several ways that it was done. Initially, it was done in terms of the distance to the moon.
What?
By Aristarchus of Samos.
Aristarchus of Samos.
Bruh.
You've been talking to Pete Shea.
And I've got 2 videos on my channel about all of the geometry
What geometry?
that he developed 2,300 years ago.
He developed all this geometry 2,300 years ago, Bob, to measure the distance to the moon.
That actually works. The only
Oh, that's a pragmatic fallacy. Actually works. Do you know left lane? That's his main argument with everything. It works. Of course, the dumbass cracker doesn't know that it's friggin' a pragmatic fallacy. Neither does Bob, because he's a moron.
only reason he came up with the wrong answer is his measurements weren't accurate.
Its measurements were wrong, and it wasn't accurate. So what the hell does that have to do with measuring the sun, Bob?
enough. So we can determine the distance to the sun that way.
We can determine the distance to the sun from inaccurate measurements to the moon.
Stupid.
He's insane, man. Bob's insane. Should I let up on him? You know, like just for mercy? Because goodness gracious, he needs to be institutionalized. If a mental health professional was out here listening to this, they'd be calling some numbers. Right? It's not only terrible. It's very scary. Very. I mean, Freddy Krueger type.
The second way we determine the distance to the sun is that they assume that Venus.
They assume that's incongruent. What?
Was the same size as the Earth.
Who assumed that a light in the sky was the same size as the Earth, for which we have no measurements? There, Bob.
Bruh.
And use the angular size.
That was Kristen Huygens. All you Netherlanders out there. Christian Huygens. All right? What the hell did he just say? Pull a fiver.
Assume that Venus was the same size as the Earth and use the angular size.
Why would you use the angular size if you already have the size that they didn't have? That didn't make any damn sense, man.
Bruh.
Hell no.
Because they knew the relative distance.
What? They knew the relative. I thought that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the distance to the sun through inaccurate measurements from the moon. But that's what we're trying to find. You don't know the distances. Let's scroll back on a fiver. Listen to this idiot.
And use the angular size.
Yeah, right.
Because they knew the relative distance between.
They knew the relative distance between. How'd they know that?
Venus.
He lost it. He wicked clown, man.
Bruh.
Well, they knew that Venus, I think, is what, 0.72 or 0.78 astronomical units.
How did they know that? How did they know the astronomical units, Bob? You moron. You're trying to find the distance to the sun, but you know the distance to Venus through AUs. How'd you figure that out? He's an imbecile, folks.
From the sun, and we're 1 astronomical unit.
Oh,
from
now
the sun.
we're one. That's what we're trying. How did what? Dude, that's what he asked you how we figured it out. Well, he just said, well, it's 1 astronomical unit. Well, how'd they figure that out, Bob? What a clown.
Sun. So you can use that distance between.
You can use the distance between. No, we already have the distance according to you. It's 1 AU. What a fucking moron, dude. What the?
Bruh.
I don't know. This is getting pretty scary.
I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
Between Earth and Venus.
He already knows the distance between the Earth and Venus. He already stated the distance to the sun from the Earth is 1 AU. And Idiot's question, Peckerwood's question down here is, how do we know the distance of the sun? Laurel and Hardy are blushing in the corner.
To kind of get an idea based on angular size about.
Why would you get an idea based on angular size, the non-actual size, when Christian Huygens already knew the actual size? Or so he thought. He guessed it, that it was it had the same radius as the Earth does. Fucking imbeciles.
About how far the sun is. And
What?
it was actually pretty accurate.
He was pretty accurate. How was he pretty accurate to what? And how'd you figure out that what?
Bruh.
But that was based on a very lucky guess that Venus and Earth are indeed about the same side.
That was a lucky guess Kirsten Huygens made about a light in the sky being the same or having the same radius as the Earth that we don't know. Like I said, he needs to be institutionalized. He doesn't even realize it. Peckerwood, why didn't you catch on that? Did he answer your question, nutbag?
Size. Then in
He's going to continue on. I guess no objection from Peckerwood.
1761, as I recall.
1761. We're going to wax all philosophical about that.
They actually tried to do what was
Who are they?
called the transit of Venus, which was developed by Edmund Halley.
Edmund Halley. He's a real friggin' wingnut. Edwin Halley. He listened to not Adam. What was his name? Swedenborg. Emanuel Swedenborg. That's who it was. Emanuel Swedenborg talked to Edmund Halley back in the day about it was just before it was kind of the predecessor to the what's that idiot friggin' hypothesis? The nebular hypothesis. Sorry about that, folks. The nebular hypothesis. Emanuel Swedenborg talked to Edmund Halley, wingnut, told Edmund Halley about his sort of nebular hypothesis, the evolution of the solar system. And I keep on saying Adam for some reason. Emanuel Swedenborg got the information by talking, I'm not bullshitting you, by talking with spirits from Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and the moon. 20-some years later, after Halley, or after Swedenborg told Halley, Halley told Kant, Immanuel Kant, and Laplace. And then they came up with the nebular hypothesis. I shit you not, man.
And the transit of Venus says that Kepler says that.
The transit of Venus says that Kepler says that.
What?
Bruh.
I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
This is stupid, man.
Venus is this distance from the sun.
How do you know that it was this distance from the sun? Hey.
And if you look at the sun.
He's freaking clueless. Look at him.
And plot where Venus crosses the sun from two widely separated locations.
Using elevation angles? Yeah. Thanks. Welcome to Flat Earth, idiot.
The parallax of Venus.
Parallax of Venus.
And use that to calculate the distance to the sun. They tried to do
Why did you need to calculate the distance to the sun? Didn't you already have it before with your 1 AU? The Earth is 1 AU away. This is convoluted gibberish. It's paradoxical and contradictory.
Do it in 1761.
It's cloudy, wasn't
Unfortunately,
Yeah, it was cloudy.
What?
it? It was cloudy, wasn't it, on one of the islands?
No, there was a war.
Oh,
Oh no, there was a war.
Bruh.
And it got to the point that the French Academy of Science and the British Academy, even though they were both at war, the British Academy tried to get letters from the Admiralty giving the French ships safe passage to do these measurements, and actually got them to the French. And then the French went through it, and then an English warship stopped them. They said, "Look, we've got this letter from the Admiralty," and they said, "We don't care. Screw you. You're French."
I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
So it didn't work out very well in 61. So in 69, 8 years later, when they had the second one, they had an enormous effort where they sent out 140 some odd teams.
They're sending out teams to figure out how far the sun is away from us.
Including Cook to Tahiti and
Cook, bring me my Haas and Pfeffer.
they also sent a couple of guys named Mason and Dixon
Hey, I know them.
to measure the transit in South Africa.
That's amazing. What they come up with?
And when they did such a good job there, they said they had another job for them to do. So these are the guys
Yeah.
that came up with the Mason-Dixon line.
No way. The Mason-Dixon line.
Hell no.
yeah.
But they went ahead and they calculated it
They calculated it. I thought he asked you how did they measure it.
Bruh.
based on the transit of Venus. And the
Based on the transit of Venus. Well, how do you know how far Venus was away from Earth?
math is pretty complex, but
Yeah, no, I bet you it is. We'd like to see that math right there. Let's go through it.
it's not beyond a good high school student.
Well, it's well beyond you then.
Okay.
You know,
It's probably the kind of thing where you want to have like,
You don't even know what a circle is, or a triangle, or a trick, Bob. We already demonstrated that through this series. You moron.
high school, he can do this.
yeah, it'd probably be best served if we had like, diagrams so we could draw it
Yeah, let's get him. Let's see it.
out, and we're not really set up to do that
I'll bet you that was by accident.
exact kind of thing right here, right now. But that's okay.
Nope.
That's okay.
No, it's not okay. He's making idiotic claims. He's just pulling out of his ass because he's insane, and we want to see the insanity in his maths.
I'll put a video out on my channel.
Oh God, you put a video out. What would be the makeup of somebody that watches Bob's videos? Think about that. And think about those people living near you that actually think that they're somehow they have some veracity to them. Just think about that.
Channel this week for it.
Have a good night's sleep. I'd be considering put a turret on my friggin' car every time I went out.
Because I've done one, and I'll just put it out. They actually did it. A guy did it with a friend. He was on
A guy did it with a friend now, folks. Holy shit.
top of the parking lot at Princeton University,
Princeton University, what's their mascot?
and his buddy was over on the observatory in Hawaii,
Mhm.
and they both did the transit of
Of Zenith. They both did the transit of Zenith. Were they looking for Cygnus Octaris?
Venus at the same time, and they actually did the full calculation and
Oh my, they did it all by themselves? The full calculation measurement?
got within 50,000 kilometers of the actual.
Of the
actual distance.
That's what we want to know. How did we get the actual distance? That was his question. He's not going to object because he just got Jedi mind tricked by your dumb ass.
Really so it was a pretty neat.
That's right. Yeah, he agreed. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Trick.
Yeah, that's a neat trick.
Bruh.
Now what you going to do? Don't be trying any funny business. Yeah. Smack you around a little bit.
To do it back then, when you don't even have calculators or anything.
Not even a calculator. Amazing. Didn't they have the Gleason's map that was a calculator? Didn't Bob say it was a time calculator?
Boggles my mind how much of a genius people like Halley had to have been.
I told you, he was a real wingnut. Halley. It's Haley, you moron.
And Kepler,
Kepler didn't do shit.
I don't understand how just watching something go across the sky, how you can extrapolate that it's moving in an ellipse from that.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing, huh? That's pretty astute point again. Wonder how they could do that. Not by their fairy tale imaginations, right? No way.
It's just
well, I measure the orbits of...
Bob's measuring orbits.
Hell no!
What I do with the observatory is not just take pretty pictures. I'm not really much of an astrophotographer. I measure asteroids and comets for the Minor Planet Center.
But you measure asteroids and comets? What, like within height to the comets and shit?
So I take observations of these asteroids and literally...
I thought you were measuring them. Didn't he just say that? We ain't going back.
Calculate their orbits.
Now you're calculating. So you're measuring and calculating orbits, right? You're going to need flat Earth elevation angles for that there, Bob.
Oh, that's cool.
And
cool. That's cool. That's good to go. That's cool. No problem.
Shut up, bitch!
Orbital elements. And I use software.
Oh, orbital element. Oh, he uses software. Interesting.
For that, but that's what it does is it, simply...
What does it do?
Simply having observations will...
So observation, but what is it? You said the software. So now we're back to observations?
Allow you to calculate an orbit.
The observations allow you to calculate an orbit, according to Bob. Yep, he shakes his head. Peckerwood shakes his head. Yes. Yep.
Accurately and one that's predictive.
He thinks they're predictions.
What?
Bruh.
Hell no!
It's a little bit off topic, but I can't really think
What? Well, off topic. We've been off topic the whole damn time.
of anything
Why don't you think of a sphere tard proofsies? How about that?
relating to flat Earth anymore. But what did you think of? What were your conclusions basically after the Oumuamua phenomenon?
The Oumuamua what?
Bruh.
Oumuamua. Was it a cow?
I seem to remember they thought
You mean
it
the
got
alien spacecraft?
yeah because they
Alien spacecraft, huh?
thought it sped
I must not be keeping up with the sphere tard debate.
up, and maybe it did a tiny bit as it was leaving, but I
It was sped up as it was leaving where?
thought I heard at one time that was there were just gases, like it was outgassing,
What was outgassing? The cow?
and that was pushing it along, but there wasn't
Pushing it along where? How could it be pushing it?
anything otherwise.
Oh, God. What the
What kind of shit is that?
Super special about it.
Dude, that was a detailed, it was a rigorous, detailed description of it. I could picture it in my mind.
One thing about flat earthers is they like to...
What the hell now he goes right off topic and goes right into a stereotype fallacy. No, that's not scary at all. What the hell is he gonna say now?
To talk about
They're gonna talk about dogpiling and word salad.
relativity, and my counter to that is always.
Wait a second, we got to get the full thought on that. Let's go. Let's pull a fiver.
One thing about flat earthers is they like to
What about Ali Amumu?
talk about relativity, and my counter to that is always, okay, would you mind being so kind as to tell me the three laws of Newtonian motion?
Why would we do that? If we're talking about relativity, why are we going to talk about the debunked laws of Newton? What?
Bruh.
What the?
What?
Is?
I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
Talk about non sequitur. What the hell is he on about? Knows.
In order correctly.
Wait, let me get the full thing. It's difficult.
About relativity, and my counter to that is always, okay, would you mind being so kind as to tell me the three laws of Newtonian motion in order correctly?
Why? What that? Like I said, that makes no. It's non sequitur fallacy from the Black Lagoon, dude. Why would we need to do that? They're all debunked anyway. 1, 2, and 3. An object at rest remains that way, or if in motion, remains in motion at constant velocity unless acted upon by an external force, which is friggin' debunked. Damn. Number 2, second law of motion, F equals ma. And I think the third one is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction that was debunked. All 3 were debunked. So, and why on earth would we bring that up when discussing relativity? I don't know. Bob.
And if you can't tell me the laws of Newtonian motion,
then you can't talk to me about general relativity. Jesus. Bob, if you're unsure that they were debunked, let's play this. So, from the highly revered sphere-tard pseudoscientist Richard Feynman, let's see what he has to say about this. The discovery of quantum mechanics first, and then in the behavior of light, and then in the behavior of matter, finally culminating in 1926 with a full equation of quantum mechanics, which told us that the laws of motion of Newton were not right. Say that again, Bobberoonie. The laws of motion of Newton were not right. Yeah. And from Professor Shankar, Chair Physics, Yale. That is the end of Newtonian physics. That's all we got there, Bobberoonie. Thank you very much. Why don't you take that back here with you? You clown of an idiot.
I don't want to hear your opinions.
Opinions on what? Of the debunked laws?
On general relativity.
Why would we be bringing them up with general relativity? You know, I often bring up Socrates when I'm discussing recipes for pineapple upside down cake. That's what I do.
Stupid.
If you don't understand basic motion and gravity, I don't want to hear them. So.
What?
Bruh.
What?
The issue that you ran into with that is.
So, are we going to get back to Ali Mumu?
As it got closer to the sun.
Here we go. We get back to what? Well, what?
What?
It would make sense to have some outgassing as it warmed up. Maybe some ice came out.
What the hell is he talking about?
Bruh.
We changed the orbit of an asteroid just by hitting it with something the size of the refrigerators we had in college, basically.
What? Refrigerators? Second law of thermodynamics? Yeah, sure, Bob. And Aphrodite was actually Elmer Fudd in Drag and was directly responsible for the Tet Offensive.
Basically.
Yeah, DART. Yep.
But things don't
What?
move unless forces act upon them.
Oh, really? What about gases? So let's say we have water and it's evaporating, right? It breaks the hydrogen bonds. What force is accelerating that water, Bob? You idiot clown.
So the question is what force acted upon it?
What force act? The question is, what force acted upon it?
Now, if it made a 30-degree course change and then turned back on itself, I'm
What, the Ali Moo?
going to try and figure out how I'm going to meet our new reptilian overlords.
What the fuck?
Hell no!
What?
But if it just just kind of nudged a little bit and there's a reason for it, I'm going to go ahead and accept that.
Bob, if it nudged it and there's a reason for it, then Bob is just going to accept it. That's it.
Bruh.
From Ali Moo.
When ships are maneuvering, they don't generally maneuver just a fraction of an arc second.
What are you, an aeronautical engineer now, Bob?
Hell no!
They make a turn. And
Oh, that's amazing. They make a turn?
I think that's what we should look for. I don't think there was much of a turn.
What on earth are we? I'm sorry to subject you to this. I really, my apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, from what I
that's a good conclusion.
remember, it's been a while, but people thought that it sped up as it was leaving, and so then that
Leaving from where? What the hell is he talking about? I don't know.
was like, well, what would be the explanation for that?
What would be the explanation for it? Really deep.
But
Yeah.
I'll bet you he doesn't know what explanations are. How much you want to bet? Neither does this idiot. Yeah. What else now? Where are we going?
I don't know.
Maybe the Gleason's map? The time calculator?
Oh, I'm kind of
Stupid.
running out of ideas. What's
That's not shocking.
your favorite argument to hear, just because of how dumb it is and how easy it is to dismantle and watch
What's your favorite argument to hear just because how dumb it is? What?
What?
them panic? For me, it's water always finds its level. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite dumb argument, that water always finds its level? Thanks. Let's see here. Water. From the physics hypertext book, water seeks its own level. That's one of the realities of life, Peckerwood. This is the level that we're at. No pun intended. This is the level that we're at here. First, he doesn't know what the difference between questions and statements, so this shouldn't surprise anyone. From Isaac Asimov, we're getting into friggin' pseudoscience royalty here, brothers. Understanding Physics, page 120. This effect is part of folk knowledge, as is witnessed by the common saying that water seeks its own level, Peckerhead. I know this is shocking. You think this is a stupid argument. Thank you very much. From Engineering LibreText, let's hear what the engineers have to say about this. Since water pressure is independent of volume, the levels should be equal to each other. Also referred to as water seeks its own level, dumbass. And finally, from the National Air and Space Museum, this is science in pre-K. So listen up closely, Peckerwood. Water will always form a flat surface. unless it is acted on by another force, such as wind. These Grandma, they didn't even put gravity in here. You notice that? Very interesting that they mention a force, but not gravity. Very interesting. You're compromised. Science in pre-K. You would fail. General science, pre-kindergarten. Peckerwood. Thank you very much, sir. Moron.
It looks flat to me.
It looks flat to me. What kind of argument is that? Huh? What?
What?
Interesting. I mean,
Oh, that's interesting.
kind of does.
Yeah, it looks flat to me, therefore it is flat.
It looks flat. Does he think that that's our argument?
Bruh. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know what fallacy that is. That's kind of
It's pretty friggin' stupid, and never any argument that we've made, that I've made personally. That's for sure. So off your stereotype fallacy, this is just pathetic. It's woefully executed by two morons, Frick and Frack, Peckerwood and Bob the pseudoscience fallacy guy.
kind of an argument from ignorance, I guess.
You think that that's an argument from ignorance? You know, the one that you just conjured, the straw man? I bet you don't know what an argument from ignorance fallacy is, son.
Not exactly.
Not exactly. Let's wonder about it.
But, you know,
don't try any of your funny business, though, mister. Slap your on a bit.
that's one thing.
That's one thing. What
They used to do over on YouTube.
they used to do over on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now, you idiot. Thanks for the next fallacy.
Is try the fallacy arguments.
Yeah,
Fallacy arguments? What?
I think
And
it's
my
dumb.
response to that
He thinks logical fallacies are dumb. Well, yeah, so do we. Why do you guys employ them all the time is the question.
is, would you be kind enough to show me one single peer-reviewed journal article that says a scientific observation or theory was disproven by calling it a fallacy?
What does hell? What? Bruh. What does that have to do with logical fallacies? Can you go in the recipe book and can you show me where a recipe has been invalidated by a logical fallacy? What the? What?
Oh my.
He needs to be institutionalized. If that doesn't tell you, I don't know what does. Wow.
Yeah. I
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
I said that in a video I uploaded maybe like a week
You said what he said in the video you uploaded. Holy shit, bro.
Bruh.
ago or something. I was like, look, because what Oakley
Oh god.
does in his
I thought you didn't watch him. When you were watching him that you didn't watch.
unbearable tone of voice.
And his unbearable tone. Oh, poor baby. Want to rub your feet, get you a little hot chocolate? Clown Nancy.
Is he says you're affirming the consequent and stuff.
Yeah. You guys, that's one of your favorite fallacies. Not today. Today it's been stereotypes.
Stuff like that.
And stuff like that. Thanks for the immeasurable detail.
So what?
And
Bob says, so what? So what?
Bruh.
Yeah. So I use affirmative, consequent, pharmacological fallacies in all my arguments. So what?
yeah, well, it's like
A fallacy is better than nothing. I hit the wrong one. It's almost the same thing. That was Timmy Clown many years ago when he said that shit. Everyone fell out.
like, okay, but that doesn't mean that it's not true.
That what's not true? When you employ a fallacy, it renders your argument and therefore your conclusion void. I don't know how many. We've been saying this. I've been educating on this since 2017. Countless times. We've said it. We've demonstrated it countless times. And they're just morons. They're just making shit up.
It means that
That's called the fallacy.
a fallacy.
Fallacy, guys. That's what they're doing. The fallacy.
Yeah, like
Simply because, I call it the even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes.
Yeah, you don't. You're a definite blind squirrel, but you don't get any nuts. That's for sure.
Hell no!
Sometimes fallacy.
that's funny.
Because occasionally you can use a fallacious argument and still come to the correct conclusion.
Yeah, it's your argument's void. So that's it. This is second grade retard level. He's proud of it though. Look at him. Unbelievable. That they're they just stop, right? What?
What?
They were both stupefied.
Yeah, so I think the example I gave was like with affirming the consequent or whatever, like
Affirming the contrary or whatever. It could be Brussels sprouts, whatever.
if it's raining outside, then I will get wet. I am wet, therefore it's raining outside.
Yes, that's an affirming the consequent formological fallacy.
No, I reasoned that backwards.
You reasoned it fallaciously.
I started with the
Look at Bob.
with the
Bruh.
then statement, but that does, like, if you are wet, raining is actually an excellent explanation for how you got wet. It by no means means that what you're saying isn't true.
These people are clowns, man.
So,
You could have technically have just walked through a shower in your house,
yeah.
or somebody could have dumped water on your head. But the fact that it doesn't logically flow that is the one and only conclusion does not preclude that being the actual answer.
Yeah, but the argument's void, you dumbass cracker. If you don't understand this, it's not worth my time. Piss off. And when you get there, piss off some more, you clueless clowns.
You could have very well have gone outside raining. It doesn't disprove that it's raining, as you say.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I think maybe we'll do one more here. We've been going for an hour here, but I saw somebody write this.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Bob appreciates it.
Appreciate your help with this.
my pleasure. It's been fun to do.
It's been a load of fun for my audience. I want to thank you two idiots.
Somebody in the comments saw, and I've seen this argument crop up before, in order to, like, for example, when we say to...
It's like a sentence fragment bonanza with Peckerwood, isn't it?
What?
Bruh.
them, look, you can take
Did he say them? Let's pull a fiber.
to, like, for example, when we say to them, look, you
Yeah. Thank you. Thought I heard that.
can take measurements of Polaris
We can take measurements of Polaris.
and see that the geometry doesn't work with a flat Earth.
It only works with a flat horizontal plane. You measured it with an elevation angle, you idiot of a moron. Oh boy. Let's try this for you. Let's see if we got this. All right. Let's see. Pay attention. Okay? Peckerwood, listen up. From radartutorial.eu. What you did was you took an elevation angle with a sextant. Watch this. Elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal plane, got that? And the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. Who's calling? Adam, I must have been doing something wrong. All right, let's take a break. Let's see our status out here. Oh, boy. What did I do now? What? What you guys want? Why are you calling me? Adam, why are you calling me? What? Okay, affirming the consequence. Is that what you called me? You're ruining my show. I hope you know that. So you want me to stop? Do you want me to go back to affirming the consequence? You think it was that important to go ahead and Skype call me? I thought everything was going down the toilet. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Adam, I'll tell you what, you better stop your funny business, mister. All right? I'm going to give you what for. Slap you around a bit. All right, what do we got here? We got some more superposition, super tramp, Superman, super sound, supercomputer, superstation, superconductor, superfluids, superintendent. Oh, we only transgenus, a new gender. Let's keep this clean, Roger. You got a super chat, but that's not why Adam is calling. Why is Adam calling? Consequence in a French accent to hide your ignorance. What? That was you call me for? I'll be a son of a friggin' I'll tell you guys.
You what?
Superwoman. There's Betty out there, Superwoman. Oh boy. Was that her name? Superwoman? I could see her. Nah, that's Wonder Woman. It's not Superwoman. Yeah.
Shut up, bitch!
I'm just messing you now. Adam, you better not. You interrupt. I was almost near the end, too. Now I'm going to have to go back and change screens. Give me a J, he says. You think that's all you need? Who said it? Was it Peckerwood or was it Bob Rooney? I'll give you a couple seconds to answer that.
Shut up!
Oh, boy. Adam.
We do not care.
But since you called me, it has to be important to you. So, all right, let me get my act together again. Thanks, Adam. We'll pull a J and see if I can't get the whatever you said, the consequence. All right, hold on. Oh, there he is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let me hit we're going to pull a J. Let's pull two J's just in case. All right, I pulled two J's. Now, what we're looking, don't you call me again. Friggin' guy. Evening. Get this. Where'd you go? There you are. All righty then. All right, we pulled two J's. I got them over there. Here we go.
My pleasure. It's been fun to do. Somebody in the comments saw, and I've seen this argument crop up before. In order to, like, for example, when we say to them, look, you can take measurements of Polaris and see that the geometry doesn't work with a flat Earth or whatever, anything like that. They'll say,
what the hell? What the hell happened there? God, I didn't notice that before. I looked up, I said, oh, goodness gracious. Vámonos, muchachos. All right, sorry, Adam.
but you're using yeah, the cowboy hat, that was great. Oh, I got one now too. They'll say you're using a flat earth model to
All right, we went past it, Adam. So I'm going to have to go back. So let's pull a few J's. Yeah, that was well back there, I think. Let's try it.
It by no means means that what you're saying isn't true.
We got to go through the whole fallacy because I don't know where it is. Adam! Evening! Jerk. All right.
No, I reasoned that backwards. You know, I started with the
We got to go.
I call it the even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes fallacy.
Let's go back a little bit more because Adam's going to call me.
What Oakley does in his
Here we go.
unbearable tone of voice is he says you're affirming the consequent and stuff like that.
He said affirming the consequent. He pronounced it correctly there. Must have been somewhere else.
So what?
And yeah, well, it's like, okay, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. It means that
That's called the fallacy.
A fallacy, yeah.
You're a dumbass. We already went over this.
Yeah, like
simply because, you know, I call it the even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes fallacy.
That's funny.
Because
And you're the blind squirrel.
occasionally you can
No nuts.
use a fallacious argument and still come to the correct conclusion.
If you're a moron.
Yeah, so I think the example I gave was like with affirming the consequent or whatever. Like
Affirm. He sentence fragmented it, Adam, but I didn't hear him say anything else. Maybe you caught something. Maybe there was some type of interference or something. Don't call me.
Like if it's raining outside, then I will get wet. I am wet, therefore it's raining outside. No, I reasoned that backwards. You
Yeah, you're a moron.
know, I started with the
What?
then statement, but that does, like, if you are wet, raining is actually an excellent explanation for how you got wet. It by no means means that what you're saying isn't true. So
You could have technically have just walked through a shower in your house,
yeah.
or somebody could have dumped water on your head.
Take a dump on your head.
The fact that it doesn't logically flow that is the one and only conclusion does not preclude that being the actual answer.
Wow, that's scary, dumbass. You're just a moron.
You could have very well have gone outside raining. It doesn't disprove that it's raining, as you say.
Yeah.
Adam, you made me go back through this? I didn't hear your consequence.
For sure. I think maybe we'll do one more here. We've been going for an hour here, but I saw somebody write this.
Appreciate it. I do appreciate your help with this.
My pleasure. It's been fun to
You need a damn haircut, Bob.
do.
What's that sticking up piece of alfalfa back there?
Somebody in the comments saw, and I've seen this argument crop up before. In order to, like, for example, when we say to them, look, you can take measurements of Polaris and see that the geometry doesn't work with a flat earth.
That's where I was at when Adam interrupted me, so don't interrupt me again. So he said that he's talking about elevation angles, and it doesn't work with a flat earth. It is got to be one of the more stupid, geometrically illiterate statements I've ever heard. So, crackhead, Peckerhead, Peckerwood, look at this. Elevation angle from radartutorial.eu is the angle between the horizontal plane. Yeah, that's flat. There, crayon crunching clown. And the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. So the question is, there, crayon crunching clown, can you show us a horizontal plane on a spheritard? And if you're unsure, from GCSE, angles of elevation and depression. An angle of elevation is the angle from the lower object to the higher one, while an angle of depression is the angle from the higher object to the lower one. But this is the really important part. Both angles are measured with respect to the horizontal plane of the reference object. Game, set, match, Peckerwood. You're finished. Dumb fuck.
Or whatever, anything like that. They'll say, but you're using Yeah, the cowboy hat, that was great. Oh, I got one now too.
Are these people delusional? That's rhetorical.
They'll say you're using.
Oh, they'll say. Yeah, I know that one. That is another fallacy. Ooh, you close that one out. That's another block gone. Another 5 block. Another 5er.
A flat Earth model to prove the globe.
Flat Earth model? You said we didn't have a model before. And that was correct. We don't have a model. You don't have one either. And you don't know what a scientific model is. Neither does. Oh, God, that's scary.
What kind of shit is that?
Globe, because you have to assume it's flat to have triangles.
You have to. No, it has to be flat. So you can put a triangle on it, like an elevation angle. Yeah, we already went over that before. I just went over the definition of elevation angles before. And then I train wrecked your dumbass in episode 1 where I pulled it up on AutoCAD and took your ass out to the woodshed.
To do the trigonometry or whatever.
To do the trigonometry or what? You don't do trigonometry in celestial navigation. What's Alfalfa laughing about over here?
What angle do you measure with a sextant?
Elevation angle, baby. That's what you measure.
Well, you measure. To me, like.
Bruh. Measure the angle here.
He still doesn't know. Oh, they're clicking inside there. Look at Bob. Like I said, it's Doc Holliday holding up tuberculosis.
On the sextant, between the index arm and the body of the sextant.
Is that what it is? You don't need anything else, just the sextant. So you're just looking at the arc on the index arm, right? What a fucking moron.
That's the only angle that you're measuring.
It's an elevation angle, dumbass.
Has absolutely nothing to do with the ground.
Bruh.
I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
What a clown, man.
You don't need a base. You
don't need a base to measure an elevation angle. It's just a right angle triangle. The angle is between the adjacent and the hypotenuse. You dumbass cracker. Like I said, you'd fail intro to 3rd grade, geometry, just intro to geometry.
You can make an angle with a point, technically.
You measure an angle with a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, there are how many angles
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? True or false?
am I measuring? 1. How many angles does a triangle have to have? 3.
Yeah, it has 3 because it's tri.
I'm only measuring.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Is this some type of, what the hell are they doing? Is he doing that to him or what's going on? Or is Bob's boyfriend in the background doing it? Who knows?
Now they're screwing with us.
Yeah, kind of.
I like that.
I'd like that. I'd like that look.
Bruh. Got to learn about these things on TikTok.
It's on TikTok. Okay.
It's a different world, yeah.
It's still stupid. You're still sphere-tards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, not knowing how the basic instrument
Not knowing how the basic what?
Works, or not
It measures elevation angles, you dumbass cracker.
knowing how a gyro compass works.
Gyro compass. What's next? Hyperbolic geometry.
Or not knowing how the having to ask me how to spell the Haversine equation and then
No one asked you how to spell that shit. You're a dumbass. We already trained wrecked your Haversine.
telling me my understanding of it's wrong.
Yeah, you're just a doofus. You couldn't tie your shoes without a fleet of slobber nurses. My whole audience knows it. We've known it since the moment you came out here when we busted your ass. When you came on Nathan's show, Alfalfa, and got your ass ripped out of your throat. Go back and listen to that. Episode 1.
You know, that just doesn't fly. You know,
He's still laughing. Look at him. What the fuck is so funny? Did somebody hand him a piece of colored tape? Oh, yeah, that's all you got to do with Evotards. Just hand him a piece of colored tape. Keep him busy for hours.
I'll show you how a sex. I'm more than happy to show.
You couldn't educate the bionic woman on hearing if you chained her to the back of a dump truck and drug her through a nitroglycerin plant. You fucking bozo.
Show you how a sextant works.
God.
We'll do a sighting together.
Let's hope that happens. If that happens, he's coming back on the treatment.
I'll work.
Bruh.
You through the math and make sure they understand it and
Work you through the maths.
why we do it that way.
Why Bob does it that way.
But don't tell me that I'm wrong unless
Don't tell him that he's wrong.
you can take your sextant out and do.
Take my sextant out. I'll tell you what. Don't try any of your funny business, mister. Slap you around a bit.
Do a better job than me. I can get within 2 nautical miles of my.
He can get within 2 nautical miles, people. He doesn't even know what an elevation angle is. He doesn't know what a triangle is, and he doesn't know what a circle is. That's already been demonstrated in the first episode of this show.
My position, and I'm an amateur.
You're not an amateur. You're a moron. Delusional type 1H. You should be institutionalized.
So
Yes, he just Peckerhead. Yes, sure.
the last flat earther I saw tried to do it with flat earth math, got
Oh, brother.
over 1,500 nautical miles wrong.
We do not care.
Baja California, not realizing the traditionally shipped time is either UTC or it's generally wherever
Shut
the
the
last
hell up.
port was. So they were using California time while taking.
But they were using elevation angles that can only be acquired on a horizontal plane. Do we want to? Not only those 2 definitions, I got about 35 of them. They all say the same thing because they can pass 3rd grade intro to geometry. You friggin' idiot of moron nutbag.
an actual sextant measure
Shut up.
in Hawaii. And you know, we can get these things within 5 miles or so.
Yeah, we
can,
can.
you know,
Who's we?
an amateur can do that all day long if they know what they're doing.
Oh, brother.
The pros get it down a lot further than that. But
Amateurs
these
and the
flat earthers
pros,
don't have
baby.
the first clue what they're talking
Shut
about.
up. Yeah, right. Sure.
Stupid.
Bruh.
With it. Yet they want to
Thank you very much. Give me another one so we could close out that 5 blocker.
presume to be the experts on it and tell us.
Presumed to be the expert on. No one, absolutely no one, spoke about the sextant the whole time I've been out here. And as soon as we brought it up and pounded the shit out of these numpties, then sextant experts started crawling out the walls, right? Him, McBooger Eater, and who's another sextant expert? The numpty from down under, Roofy. Notice how that happened, folks? He's projecting.
That it means the earth is flat.
Shut up.
But you can actually, with the Eratosthenes experiment,
Oh my God, he thinks Eratosthenes is still an experiment.
What?
I'm about winding down with this, folks. Let's see, we're over 2 hours. I'm not going to put up with this shit too much longer.
you can make the prediction.
Oh my God, he thinks Eratosthenes made predictions, scientific predictions, off a non-experiment.
Of the shadow on the sticks, using
Sticks? Do you think Eratosthenes used sticks, you moron? They can't even get the original story right. They just say sticks because that's what other idiot baltards told them. Why don't you get within the galactic vicinity. If you said well in a stick, I'd let it go. Right? The stick's the obelisk. You know the story about the obelisk. This is a family show. Right? If you gave us that, I would let it go. But 2 sticks, Bob. My God, are these people stupid? Stupid.
Both the flat Earth and the spherical Earth.
Oh,
Yeah, you just have to
Just like I
do
did.
multiple
I calculated.
measurements.
Yeah,
You said measurements, but he said he calculated. What's the problem here?
calculated. When I did the whole
The sticks.
horizontal across my lake, I said, on a flat Earth, this is what I'm going to see.
Oh, you're conjuring horse shit. Another
On a
fallacy.
spherical
This is an affirming the consequent formological fallacy, folks.
Earth, this is what I'm going to see.
I don't see that. This works, therefore spheretard.
This is my margin of error. I have to be better than that, or I'm going to.
They got this idiot margin. Who brought this margin of error up with these morons? It's like, margin of error.
Consider it unproven either way.
The margin of error is between your ears. You retard.
Guess which one it matched?
It matched my ass and your face. That's the match.
Spherical Earth.
Oh.
By a ways.
Oh. Peckerhead. Oh. Nancy. Little Sally Nancy. Oh.
That's excellent. Yeah,
that's excellent, Bob.
My challenge would be
to breathe without assistance. That's what your challenge is, sunshine clown.
For these yahoos.
Yahoos. That's an ad hominem.
We know so.
Another sentence fragment. That's what you should do.
Far ahead of time.
That's what somebody should do. Count the amount of sentence fragments from this idiot crayon muncher.
And there was an annular solar eclipse back in
What's an annular solar eclipse? We're just bouncing off the walls now.
October. We knew that was going to happen years ago.
That's awesome. How'd you know that?
Right? My challenge to them would be predict the next.
That's not a prediction, you glue-sniffing fungus muncher. The Babylonians in 800 BC were predicting eclipses, solar eclipses, quite accurately. And they weren't spheretards, balltard. Goodness gracious. This is like going back in a time machine like 2015. We're pulling a Doc Brown.
Bruh.
Next time Mars goes in retrograde predict.
He thinks he's predicting retrogrades. What? I'll bet you he doesn't even know what retrograde is. Guarantee it.
Any upcoming eclipse and show your work.
Show your work. Let's see you do it first.
Because the only way you can't do
the only way you can't. That's another sentence fragment.
With a flat model.
Flat model. We don't have a flat model, so we can't predict eclipses.
We do not care.
Which is like a weird neo-Ticonian.
Ticonian.
What? Bruh.
Model, because there's no mathematical regularity.
Mathematical regularity. Well, take some prune juice
with it. It's totally chaotic. The epicycles don't work for anything because
don't work for anything. Just hand wave dismissals like he knows what an epicycle is. How does that prove you're a spheretard, balltard?
Because
Bruh.
Because of the
What?
fact that these things are going around the sun.
Well, they don't understand the basic meaning of words.
They don't understand the Okay, I had enough. That's it, guys. I can't do this anymore.
Shut up, bitch.
It's so much projection, and we're down. Let's see, 57. Yeah, he's gonna close out here in a couple seconds. They're gonna do. They're gonna handle each other and then say goodbye. So that's it. Alrighty then. Let's go back and see if anyone's still listening. Let's see. Yeah, we got some people back here listening. Got no more phone calls. That's one good thing. Got no more super chats. Superstition, superfluid, superconductor. All right, guys, let's see. What time is it? Ooh, it's dinner time. That's for sure, man. We got some good dinner coming up. Tell you that much. You don't blame me. Don't blame me for what? What are you talking about? All right, let's get our act together. Where's Mr. Phone Caller at? Where'd he go? It interrupts my show. Evening. Then leaves. Friggin' Adam. So that's going to be the last part of the Pitiful, Pendeja, Putz, Planet Peckerhead, and Bob the Pseudoscience Fallacy guy. That's all for them. We're not doing any more of them. Next week, remember I told you it was going to be a bit squirrely. Okay, so just be flexible, even with QE Live on Tuesday. I got a lot of things up in the air, a lot of this, that's, and what have yous. So just keep a weathered air, weathered eye out, and you'll get it. I hope you enjoyed this series. It was pretty fun, but it just got long in the tooth. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Mr. Evening. Thanks. Yeah, €2 is going to fix this. Tell you what, mister, I'll tell you, you're messing with me, dude. You're messing with me, man. You're provoking me. Super chat, super fluid, superstition, super tramp, Superman, super salad, supercomputer, superconductor, superfluids, superintendent, superfly. From the Adam Meakin. You ought to add 2 zeros on the end of that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave you again with Bob and Brenda. This was a classic back in the day. I'll leave you with that, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. QE out. Beavis and Butthead, December 2019.
What errors did you make? No, I thought you were flipping brilliant.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you did a fantastic job.
Well,
Carrying out of nothing, just that was just sheer poetry. I mean, I'd like to use that someday. I want to quote you on that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bob, you think that her appeal to a fist appearing out of nothing is poetry and fantastic? Oscar Wilde, eat your heart out, eh? Bob, are you snorting LSD-laced shrooms and chasing them with Grandpa's cough medicine again?
But
And this
I
is
just
my
want to make
field, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I think that everything I said is pretty much high school, if not undergraduate level understanding of the current level of science.
So a fist appearing out of nothing is high school and or undergraduate understanding of the current level of science? I think you're overshooting a skosh. This is without a doubt a 5-alarm, full tackle, paddy wagon, horse tranquilizer, straitjacket, rubber room, emergency lobotomy for the both of you.
And you're discussing quantum physics with somebody who doesn't understand that a force has to act on a pencil for it to hit the ground.
How did it know to be food?
What did you, huh? What? How does the pencil know to be food? Or were you referring to the force or the ground in this scenario, because that would make all the difference in the world. I got this one. Let's try this. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? True or false? You two bozos better hope a mental health professional isn't listening in on this. I know that for a fact.
How did it know to be food?
What on earth? How did it know to be food for you too, Bob? You just went right along with the shroom-induced coma non sequitur, eh? So, we'll put it to you. Which one knew to be food, Bob? The pencil, force, or the ground? These clowns are insane, man.
Well, the easiest way to do that is the second law of thermodynamics. In order for something to go from small things to big things and organize, you have to put energy into it. Food's energy.
Well,
that's all it is.
So in order for something to go from small things to big things and to organize, you have to put energy into it, eh? Firstly, you seem to be having some issues with singular versus plural. Something is singular, Bob. Something doesn't go from something to small things unless you chop that something up. Secondly, and speaking of chopped up, so we're going to pile up 150 bananas, TP style, douse the lot with gasoline and fire it on up, because we added energy to small things, as you instructed, Bob. According to you, Bob, we'll get an organized big thing out of that. What do you think we'll get, Bob? I bet it'll be more substantive than the horse shit between your ears. I know that for a fact. And finally, the bumbling, boneheaded belly laugher capper to this part of your delusional Dunning-Kruger fiasco. You said, food's energy. That's all it is. Besides energy, Mr. Bob, food carries vitamins and minerals, which are micronutrients, and water. We extract no energy from either. You'd fail junior high intro to biology.
Anyway, Bobby, I appreciate it, because you know that my basic orientation to a lot of the people in here, there are people in here with real engineering and scientific degrees, which I don't have, but I do talk a lot. So
They're smarter than I am.
I always check with people that I feel know more than I do to make sure that I'm not screwing up. And I am open to being corrected
Well, you're smarter than I am on this.
by
The
other
only-
people.
Oh, really? So, Mrs. Observed Phenomena, shoe. Hypothesis, it's a shoe. And measuring the time in a cubic meter depends on how quick on the draw you are with a tape measure is smarter than you, Bob. You see, what we have here, including these two knuckle draggers, are hordes of delusional clinical-level Dunning-Kruger mindless wiki-discover channel patterning pretender clown muppets that best-case scenario should be picking up cans along the side of the road, supervised. But they're out here posturing and pontificating on topics that would make actual 5th grade general science graduates blush. Listen, fellas, you two bozos, I'd suggest getting on your knees right now and start praying ceaselessly, giving thanks to the rocks, pond scum, whatever, for the autonomic nervous system. Because if you had to think to breathe, you'd be in big trouble. By the way,